Hello and welcome back to Walk the Cinema podcast, where we walk the cinema so we can talk the cinema. Today is a very special episode. It's my co-host's birthday episode.
Woo!
So he got to pick the movie we watched, and we watched Raw. So since you picked the movie, why don't you tell us why this is the movie you wanted to discuss?
I will. But first of all, since it's my birthday, you guys should all like and share this episode as my little gift, my little birthday gift. But yeah, Raw was the movie that came out in the 2010s that I watched the most because I like it a lot. So I thought, what better way to force you to watch something than to pick it for my birthday episode.
That's very true. I was a little reluctant to watch it.
I've seen this couple handful of times in the 5 years it came out, something like that. You never saw it.
Mm-mm.
So I felt like you had to. I like it a lot.
I know.
Yeah.
We've talked about it over the years before. So I kind of knew the plot line going in beforehand. Like, I knew the major plot points.
Well, basically the plot is Justine, the main character, goes into veterinary school and starts craving flesh.
Yeah, a very simplified version of it, because was raised as a vegetarian, and, during her veterinary school orientation type thing,
The rush.
Yeah, it was like a rush week. They forced her to eat a raw rabbit kidney, and that kind of starts her on her craving for flesh, and along the way she finds out that her sister has the same affliction.
Basically, it's a very classy cannibal movie, which is a weird combination of words. Right? Because you don't think of classy when you think cannibal, but I think the cannibalism is more allegoric, even though it's visually there. I think it represents her sexuality and her understanding herself for the first time, because she's not being restricted by her parents' strict behavior anymore.
Yeah, I guess so. It is technically a coming of age.
It's very much a coming of age movie.
But it still feels odd to me.
It is a moody type horror movie.
Yeah.
There's no jump scares. Well, there's a couple jump scary situations, but not anything serious.
Yeah.
There's no spirits or monsters or anything like that. So it's more about the mood that it establishes, it is unsettling.
Yeah. But I know that the thing that struck me the most at the beginning was this concept of hazing at the college that she's going to, and how they like break them out of break into their rooms and like trash all their things and force them to crawl through something.
It's a very hardcore type school.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's how French culture is with their universities.
Yeah, and the first time I watched it, I thought it was a French documentary.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm kidding. A lot of people say it's a French documentary on
veterinary schools.
Just French life, really.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what French student life is.
I have no idea.
Because I was thinking from my, American school system perspective that if any of that happened, like, it would not be good for the school or the organization that did that. So
a sorority rush in America is just mean girls humiliating you.
Yeah, which I was never part of that either, but from what I've heard from other people talking about it, it's like, they can't force you to drink, but it's mostly around drinking culture, I guess. And like, I don't know, I've heard like some of the fraternities make you do dares, kind of like serenade people at a CVS or,
dress up like a hot dog.
Yeah.
We saw that and accepted. That's a hidden gem for anyone listening.
So it's kind of more like that. And the scene where they're taking their group picture and then they get doused in an unknown blood type. Mm-hmm. That wouldn't fly.
Well, it's a veterinarian school. I'm sure they have plenty of blood around to use.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, like, if that's what the French life is like to go to college, like, I don't think I would have survived. I think I would have left. I would have been like, I'm good. I don't need a degree. I can go find some work else.
But as much as we see the life and the parties that are very hardcore, which I know that the parties that are thrown by medicine students and med students are always a little more hardcore than other majors. Mm. But those are pretty crazy. But okay, besides that, the movie really is about the family as a whole, but mostly Justine.
Yeah, mostly Justine and her sister, to a slightly lesser extent, Alex.
Yeah. Which Alex kind of acts like her mentor in college and teaches her how to satiate her cravings for flesh.
Yeah, because how that all starts is she tastes the rabbit kidney and starts having cravings, so she kind of gives in to them, where she starts with cooked meat and then she tries to eat raw chicken, and nothing can really satisfy that hunger until one day during a bikini wax incident, her sister Alex is trying to help her, and due to a mishap gets her finger cut off in the process. Alex gets her finger cut off in the process and passes out, and Justine takes her finger and starts, drinking the blood out of it and chewing on it and trying to eat it.
So this is why I think the cannibalism is very connected to sexual depravity. Because she starts simple, right? A kidney, and then she eats some cooked meat, and then she tries raw meat, and then she goes into human meat. I feel like that's an escalation that signifies her, I guess, sexual experiences in veterinarian school, because a lot of her cannibalism is also associated to sex.
I guess, but it still feels kind of weird because, like, her formative experiences happen with her sister. You know what I mean?
A lot of them.
So it feels like if it's an allegory for that, it's...
Well, if it's a family that's okay with waxing each other and eating dead people together, why would it not be okay with incestual behavior?
Yeah, but it's like, I don't think that was the purpose of it, because it's not like the whole family is like that. It's not like we see that they do that together anyway. They're suppressed in a way because, like, the mom doesn't want them to eat meat. They're vegetarian, and we find out this is kind of the reason why. She doesn't want her daughters to...
Because the mother also
has this affliction, which we find out at the very end.
Yeah. The very, very end.
So the movie goes on, and she has this roommate that is gay, that they end up having a one-night stand type thing. Mm-hmm. And
it's very wild.
Yes, because she's trying to bite him.
She seems like a wild raccoon in that scene.
But she ends up biting herself and making herself bleed and stuff.
That's the hardest scene for me to look at. I don't know why in particular, because you couldn't really look at her sister getting her finger cut off and then her eating him. That's like fine with me. Just her biting herself.
See, the biting herself thing doesn't freak me out as much. It's the losing a limb and then someone eating it, and then also when she takes a chunk out of the guy's lip, like all of that sounds to me more cringy. Not like cringy as in like embarrassing, but cringy as in like it makes my body physically want to cave in on itself.
But I feel that in the scene where she bites herself. because it's self-harm, I guess, that really upsets me.
Well, the self-harm, yeah, I get it, but it's like, I guess I think of it as more of a control thing where she can control, like, if she bites herself or not. Whereas, as like, if she's biting somebody else, they can't control it. They just have to take it, you know?
Yeah.
So.
And it's not pleasant.
No.
No one enjoys it. She kind of gets outed for it by her own sister.
Yeah. Which, again, there's like a video of her sister messing with a cadaver, having Justine crawl on the floor and taunt her with it and telling her to bite it and stuff, and she looks like a ravenous dog type thing, trying to go for it. And all I could think of was like, if that was a real life situation, like that would get around to some administration and they'd both be pretty much everybody in the video would probably have some sort of consequence.
Especially in the day and age of social media.
Yeah.
You get everyone's names public in a matter of hours.
Exactly, and it's like kind of a serious offense. They're messing with a cadaver, you know, but in the grand scheme of things, like that's the least morally offensive, I guess, maybe.
They did kill a dog to avoid the parents finding out, which is sucky.
Yeah, it's sucky, and it also seems like if you know that the mom suffers the same thing, like, would you not think that maybe the dog didn't actually do it?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's that. And then also, I feel like there might have been something there with their dad saying, like, once a dog has a taste for human flesh, you have to put it down.
Mm-hmm. That's him advising his daughter, I feel, in a way, without straight up saying it.
Yeah.
I feel like he's advising her to calm down and not escalate it, but obviously she does immediately.
Yeah.
Then we know her sister basically murders people.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them throughout with car crashes, and then at the end with a ski pole.
Yeah, it was a ski pole.
Into the spine.
Yeah. And yeah, she kills Justine's roommate at the end. And we see, like, Justine thinks that she's the one that did it. Yeah. And she's really upset at herself, I think.
That's a gnarly shot when she pulls the sheets off and we see the half-eaten leg.
Yeah, because it's like eaten to the bone type situation.
You see the bone sticking out in the flesh.
So
it's very gory.
It is gory.
Which I love.
And it's like, I think it's a wake-up call for her, maybe?
Yeah, it does. She feels insanely shocked at that moment. And she kind of yells at herself, kind of yells at him about, you shouldn't allow this to happen. She's just yelling into the room, really, but I feel like she's talking to herself in a way where she thought she did it, and she realized that it went too far.
Yeah. Which, like, you could see that she was elevating it too far, but she didn't have that type of experience, I guess, to know when things are taken too far. And because she's 18, I assume, just because she's started college, that's why, that's like a symbol of her youth, kind of, and her having to...
She is finding herself. And she's finding herself through the cannibalism in this scenario. And at a certain point, she realizes that maybe it's not herself anymore, and she's just acting up.
Yeah, she's kind of consumed by this thing that's going on with her.
It is a coming-of-age movie in every sense.
Mm-hmm. But she finds her sister is the one that actually killed Adrian, the roommate.
Adriana?
Yeah. Yes. And, doesn't yell at her, really.
She helps her clean herself. Her sister's in shock.
Yeah.
Alex seems to be not moving, not reacting to anything.
Yeah, which I'm not exactly sure what that was trying to accomplish, I guess, because we had already seen that she was perfectly fine with killing people before.
Yeah.
You know? So, maybe because this one was a little bit more personal, because her method of killing people was jumping out in front of their cars and then them hitting a tree. So, you know.
I don't know what to tell you. I really like this movie.
I know.
But you didn't.
It's not that I didn't like it. I just didn't love it as much as you did. And it's, I think, mostly because I really dislike gory things.
That's...
Well, go ahead.
The gory part is what kind of made this movie famous before it even came out, because 2 people passed out at the Toronto Film Festival during a screening, and they had to... I don't know if they stopped it, but they had to get ambulances there, and that immediately made this... Since it's a horror movie, that's great publicity.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, it's not... There are different types of horror movies, and this horror movie is gory, but it's not gory in the sense that I can do, like, over-the-top gore. You know what I mean?
I don't think the gore is the main attraction.
This type of gore isn't really over the top. It's just so uncomfortable, and anything to do with, like, the hands or even there's like a kind of simple scene where it's at the club or whatever, and this woman is licking this man's eyeball, and that even freaks me out because I don't like things touching eyes or nails or fingers, you know.
But I don't think the gore is the attraction that makes it a good film. It might be the attraction for some people, that I don't think that's what makes it good or interesting. I think the atmosphere really does it. I feel like the party scenes and the club music always going off when it's more intense. I feel like that helps a lot.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, this one didn't make me cringe or get a reaction out of me as much as your last birthday's film did, which we watched Angst.
That's an Austrian movie about a serial killer.
Yeah, that one was rough for me to watch.
That one is also very good. But it does feel... That one feels dirty.
Yeah.
You feel bad watching it, but it's also very well portrayed.
Yeah. And I don't know. I feel like I wish I liked this one more, but it's just not... I feel like it's not my style. But I don't think it's a bad movie. I still enjoyed watching it. I just don't feel like I would watch it again anytime soon.
See, I'm the opposite because I've seen it so many times. It's my most watched movie of last decade by a mile. And it came out towards the end of that decade, so that tells you a lot about it for me personally. And I know a lot of filmmakers are inspired by it. I know Bo Burnham loves this, for example.
I mean, I guess I get like why this would be influential for people, especially with the kind of atmosphere that it portrays, I guess, where she's kind of an awkward girl. We see her like awkward mannerisms. She like chews on her hair when she's nervous, and that kind of, you know, causes issues. And that was also a rough scene. She pukes up her hair and she's just like pulling it out in like strings.
And that feels like it's a scene from like The Grudge or something like
that. That one's hard for me to watch because I also don't like watching people throw things up.
I don't think anyone does, unless you're into that type of kink.
Which, you know, good for you.
Yeah, I don't care.
But yeah, I can see why people would be influenced by this. Like, I think just because I don't love it, I do see the value in it, you know what I mean? I think I think the acting's well done, like everyone did really good performances.
Yeah.
And I think that the effects that they used with the gore, even though that's not the main attraction for you or for other people,
they still have to pull it off correctly.
Yeah, and to me they do, because it made me cringe looking at it. It made 2 people in Toronto pass out, apparently, you know?
I mean, those Canadians, you know.
But that's kind of my thoughts on it.
Yeah, let us know if you have any thoughts. Don't forget to give me my birthday gift by hitting that subscribe button and the like button and the share.
And obviously he gave it a 10 out of 10.
They all knew that.
But I gave it a 7 out of 10. I feel like
That's reasonable for you.
Yeah, exactly.
I know it's not your type, but it's my birthday, so I forced you.
Yes, it definitely isn't my type, but it definitely was worth watching, I would say.
Yeah, it's definitely worth watching, even if you don't like it. Because even if you think it's bad, I don't see a way that you don't see any type of value in it. Even if you don't like the story, you don't like the gore, you think it's silly, there's still a lot of value in it, especially in the editing and the music. The lighting is super well done throughout.
And I think it does give, even though I can't relate to the college experience, that...
I don't think it's really a college.
That type of thing. Well, it's coming of age out of college, but...
It's more of a... I don't know if veterinary school is technically college.
There?
In France, yeah. But
yeah,
it's similar to it as post-high school experience, where they get away from their parents and she goes crazy for the first time, pretty much.
Yeah. But that's all we have. We'll see you next time.